What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. AliExpress came through with another banger for me to review, and as an affiliate I got to receive this watch free of charge, but as always you're going to get my true thoughts and opinions. Spoiler alert, I'm actually blown away by this piece today. Now, in exchange for you liking this video and subscribing to my channel, I've got some coupon codes you can use during the current AliExpress back to school sale, which is happening right now all the way through August 27th. These codes will stack on top of discounts that are already up to 80% off site-wide, but hurry because they expire soon. I'll leave all these codes and links pinned in the comments and in the video description so you can take advantage. Now let's check out the Sugess Heritage Pilot Chronograph, and I'll show you why this one really impressed me. This is an homage of a very cool watch. If you know the model, drop it in the comments. I won't reveal the reference until the end of the video, but I can tell you the design cues lean towards a vintage-inspired pilot chronograph with this clean black dial, Arabic numerals, syringe hands, and a bi-compact sub-dial layout, running seconds on the left, 30-minute counter on the right. Inside the watch is the hand-wound Sea-Gull ST19 column wheel chronograph with a swan neck regulator, beautifully displayed through the exhibition caseback. Okay, let's get into the specs. The case measures 42 millimeters wide with a 51 millimeter lug to lug height. I know that's a little long, but stick with me. 13.6 millimeter case thickness and a 22 millimeter lug width, which opens us up to a ton of strap options out there. The watch is made from 316L stainless steel, and while the design is vintage inspired, the materials are all modern. We get this nice dome sapphire crystal up top and a bi-directional bezel with a ceramic insert. Now the water resistance is 50 meters, which I don't love, but I can live with it. Part of that is due to the crown not being screwed down, but that's not all bad since you'll be using the crown often to hand wind the ST19. And speaking of that movement, this column wheel chronograph inside beats at 3 Hertz with about a 40-hour power reserve. Now this particular movement tested, I know, with an accuracy of dead on zero, fluctuating anywhere from -2 to +2 seconds per day, but really hanging around that zero, which blew me away. And it has an amplitude of around 220 and a 0.2 beat error. This design is clean and balanced while still managing to be complicated yet legible. We've got a matte black dial with vintage tinted lume applied not only to the Arabic numerals at each hour, but also to the syringe hands and even the bezel indices. I really like how they've integrated a tachymeter scale around the outer edge of the dial with split seconds markers tucked just inside. Legibility during the day is fantastic, and thanks in part to the bold white paint on the hands, all of the dial text is also done in white, giving it excellent contrast and readability. Now at night, the lume performance is phenomenal for the price point. The hour markers fade a little quicker than the hands and bezel, but the glow holds strong for quite a while before disappearing completely. And for what this watch costs, it's actually really impressive to me. Winding the crown feels smooth with that grainy mechanical charm. You'll feel resistance once it's fully wound, so be careful not to force it and risk any damage. Chronograph operation is crisp thanks to that column wheel. You get that satisfying click when starting and stopping. The reset action on mine is sharp with almost a hair trigger sensitivity on the bottom pusher. Just a light press and the hands snap right back to zero. This is where the ST19 really shines. A true column wheel chronograph at this price point is something special. If you know the history of the Sea-Gull movement, having Venus equipment that it's been machined on, great story. But just remember, it is manual wind, so winding is part of the ritual. I like to treat it as a moment to slow down, take a few seconds each day to reflect on something or someone while you wind your watch. It's one of those small pleasures in a watch enthusiast's life. Don't see it as a chore, see it as part of the charm. The bezel here is a simple 60-minute countdown timer, and if you look closely, you'll notice how the 45 and 15-minute markers are reversed. It's actually a 24-click bi-directional bezel. Now, if you don't know how to use this type of bezel, drop me a comment below and maybe I'll put together a tutorial soon. Just like a standard timing bezel, it's handy for everyday stuff. Timing coffee, cooking, or even parking downtown. The action on mine feels dialed in with the perfect amount of friction, and it gives off a soft, subtle clicking sound. The small coin edge has good tactile feel, though it may be tricky to grip with wet hands or while wearing thicker gloves, maybe in the winter for example. The case finishing is entirely satin brushed with thin polished slivers on the lugs that give it a tool watch vibe without looking dull. Now at 42 millimeters with a longer lug length, this will fit comfortably on wrists from about 6¾ inches up to an 8-inch wrist without overhang. If you have a smaller wrist, it actually might wear a bit too big. Strap choice also changes the feel. On the supple brown leather strap it comes with, it wears snug and comfortable right outside the box with no break-in period needed. Now, of course, on a nylon pass-through strap, you'll add some bulk underneath, making it sit a bit higher on the wrist, but I love them both, to each their own. Okay, so here's what I love about this watch. First, the Sea-Gull ST19. It gives you access to a true column wheel chronograph at a price that's actually attainable. Second, the display back is mesmerizing. You can see all those gears, screws, and levers all moving in sync. It's a treat on the wrist, whether you decide to show it off to others or just keep it and enjoy it for yourself. Third, the design is faithful to vintage Pilot watches. Clean, no gimmicks, and the finishing is seriously impressive. The bezel and case fit together so seamlessly that you can run your thumb or finger along the side of the case and not even feel where the bezel and the case end and begin. That level of precision at this price is kind of incredible. And of course, finally, it's a strap monster with a 22 millimeter lug width, so you'll never run out of options to change the look. For me, there's really only two things I could think of that could use improvement. The 50 meters of water resistance. It leaves a bit to be desired. 100 meters would make this a lot more versatile and worry-free. It's not a deal breaker, but it's worth mentioning. Also, the exhibition caseback is mineral glass instead of sapphire glass. Really minor, but also worth mentioning. I mean, if you fix that, honestly, this watch would be just about perfect in my eyes. Now, ST19 movements aren't cost performers, but they're reliable if you treat them right. Wind it each morning, don't mash on the chrono nonstop, and you'll get solid daily accuracy. For everyday timing and enjoyment, it does deliver. And one of the things I personally love about the ST19 is you can let the chronograph hand run indefinitely. It doesn't stop after the 30-minute counter maxes out. It just keeps going until you stop it or until the power reserve runs out. That is a small but really enjoyable feature. Now, if you've wanted the vintage Pilot chronograph feel without the headaches of owning a vintage piece, this watch will scratch that itch. The Sugess Heritage Pilot Chronograph gives you, again, column wheel, mechanical charm, reliable daily wear, and great aesthetics at a price that's really hard to beat, especially at the time of this video. It's listed at around $187. I'll include links below so you can check the current listing yourself, and don't forget, AliExpress is running their back to school sales right now, but it ends August 27th. So use my links and codes, save yourself some extra cash. And if you'd like to throw me a like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so to summarize, the Sugess Heritage Pilot Chronograph is a charming, well-built, hand-wound chrono that punches way above its price. If you love the ritual of winding your watch and the look of vintage styling, this one's an easy recommendation. I really hope you've enjoyed this breakdown, and now it's time for that reveal. This watch is an homage to the Blancpain Air Command flyback chronograph. You guys know I'm a big fan, and while I'd love to own one of those someday, I think the Sugess will serve me just fine in the meantime. Let me know your thoughts on this watch or on Sugess as a brand. I appreciate the feedback. I can't wait to interact with you all in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you all at the next one. Until then, as always, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.